Hey guys, so I'm back at the airport because I'm heading to London today. I've never had security so busy, so I've obviously come in peak hour this time, unlike every other time I've come through. The uh, only problem with short flights, like what I'm doing today to London and stuff, is that I'm at the airport for longer than I'm on the plane, so that kind of sucks. But I'm very excited because I'm going to Adam Lambert tonight. This is something that I've been waiting a very, very long time for. I did plan on getting the VIP so I could get a photo and stuff, but unfortunately it sold out before I got the chance, which sucks. So I did debate getting the cheaper version, but I decided against it because the first VIP I'm going to do is with a photo of the artist, so I'm going to hold out for that, hopefully next time. I'm just sitting at the airport again and waiting to find out which gate I need to go to, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I will see you in London. I've made it to London. It's still like 2 hours before I really have to leave because it's only a 5-minute walk from here, and because I've got seating, I'm not lining up, and I know where I'm going to be, so it's not like I'm fighting for a space or anything like that, which I was going to get standing, but by the time I got here and stuff, I would not have got enough front space. Anyway, I was better to go with seating, which was a complete mistake to get them in the first place, but yeah, it's worked out. I am just very, very, very excited for tonight. I've been waiting for this for a very, very long time. So about 6-7 years I think I've been waiting to see him live. I saw him with Queen in 2014, and that was great, but I haven't actually watched one of his own shows, and yeah, so I'm just very, very excited. And it's in London, and that's really cool because I've never actually flown anywhere to specifically watch a show. So yeah, I wasn't at Adele, and obviously that was in Glasgow, and obviously I've flown from Australia, but I didn't fly to Glasgow just for that. I've flown to London today just for this show. I'm going to keep relaxing, playing games, listening to music, which is obviously Adam, and then I'm going to go to the show, and we'll go from there. I knew there was something I had to mention when I got here. I don't know if they just never flown before, because I don't think it was their first flight, but there was like a family sitting across from me on my flight here, and there were 2 kids and 4 adults, and they were just the worst people I'd ever seen on a flight before. I've dealt with screaming kids, the person kicking the back of the seat, the chair back, all of that kind of stuff. These guys were the worst. One did not even put on flight mode. I saw them texting and on the internet and everything while we were flying, which, I mean, granted, the crew didn't exactly check very well. They never check well, let's be honest. How many times have you flown and you quite easily could have gone away with not having a seatbelt on and they wouldn't have noticed? But anyway, that's not the point. He made a phone call while we were still taxiing to the runway. I couldn't believe it. Make the phone call. It wasn't important. Anyway, then the kids were annoying, and we land, and before, you get the whole don't undo the seatbelt until we've come to a complete stop and the sign's turned off, one of the women has unbuckled her seatbelt and has decided to sit on the armrest so that she could look over and talk to the rest of the family behind her. She was told by the stewardess to sit down, so she did, but she didn't put her seatbelt back on. And then she went and did it again. We were still moving. Except this time she's now leaning on the chair, facing, on her knees on the chair, facing the back of the seat. And obviously, because she's not facing them, they've had to actually go over the monitor again and go, do not take your seatbelt off and stand up until we've come to a full stop and the sign has been switched off. And they were just laughing about it. Don't get me wrong, the odds of there being an accident when you're on the ground in a plane are unlikely, but just do what they say. Honestly, oh, people are just so dumb. Oh, they seem very rude, but anyway, that's my rant over. Again, not gonna let anything affect this night. I'm gonna have a good night. I will see you later. This place is amazing. Hold up. Up there with the Tivoli. Up there with the Tivoli. Let's see how it is inside. This place is way bigger than I thought it was. I accidentally got seating tickets, not realising that the seats down the bottom can be moved for standing. But then I realised I'm not going to actually get into London early enough to have a good spot standing, which I'm glad, because there are a lot of people there, but I've still got a fantastic view, and I'm so excited. I've waited so long for this, as I've already said, but this place is incredible, and see how it all goes. You should be rolling, you should be rolling. You real life fantasy, you real life fantasy. But you move so carefully. Let's stop dangerously, how it's been. afterwards, but it was too loud and everyone was asleep. So yeah, but it was incredible, and I'm so glad I got to go. And yeah, so I'm on the bus now back to the airport. I don't have as much time in London as I did on New Year's Day, which kind of sucks, but I'm going to be back, and I know that for sure. I booked it. So yeah, back to Glasgow, and see if anything happens between now and then. Don't think so. I'll probably talk to you again either at the airport or when I get back to my room. Back in Glasgow again. And I just ate, so I'm probably going to cough a lot. Anyway, what an afternoon. So I got to the bus, as you saw, and thank God I was there an hour earlier than my actual scheduled bus time, because the buses were running late. So I was able to get on the bus an hour earlier, and if I'd gone on the bus that I'd actually booked, I probably would have missed my flight, because they were running about an hour late, so it took me 2.5 hours to get to the airport, and I was at the airport for less than 2 hours, and my flight was about an hour long, so I almost spent more time just getting to the airport than actually in the airport and flying back to Glasgow. So I'm very, very glad that I was early to the bus station. It sucks that I couldn't spend more time in London today, again, like I said, like I did on New Year's Day, but again, I am going back, that's a definite, and I'm going with Buddy and my best friend, so I'll be doing a lot more travelling around and seeing more of London then, which is in a couple months' time. It's very, very close. I'm very excited. Anyway, got my flight. My flight was delayed. The flight was meant to be at 5 to 4. We took off at about 25 past 4, but we still landed relatively on time, only about 5 minutes late, which is good. So the flight wasn't even an hour long. There you go. And then I got my cab, the taxi. So I called the taxi, came 5 minutes later. He ended up with something wrong with his tyre, so we had to go to the mechanic quickly. The mechanic had to fix whatever was wrong with it and come back here. So I almost missed dinner, but it was a safety thing, and he asked if I was in a rush, and when it comes to something like that, there is no way, whether it would have meant that I'd missed dinner or not, I wouldn't have cared, because I'd rather, him pull over and make sure everything's all good than to get halfway home and something goes terribly wrong, and it could end up a lot worse. So yes, anyway, I've had a fantastic day, I suppose. Last night was just incredible. It was definitely worth the wait, and I can't wait to go again, and hopefully I can get those VIP tickets next time around. But for the moment, I'm so happy with just being able to go in general. I'm going to leave it there. There's not much to talk about, obviously, because I haven't really done much. The cherry blossoms were blooming in London, which was just really, really pretty. I just could not be bothered to film. And yeah, so I'm going to leave it there. And I will talk to you probably next Friday, because I'm not doing anything between now and then. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, I'll talk to you then. Bye, guys.